So right off the bat, let me warn you, this may be one of the most boring motorcycle videos that you'll ever watch. There's not going to be any beautiful scenery, there's not going to be anybody doing stupid things, and certainly not a crash. What we're going to talk about today is avoiding crashes and doing stupid things. What we're going to talk about today is going through a town center that I have been through, well, hundreds, if not maybe 1,000 times. Just about every ride I do starts by riding through Wrentham Town Center on my way to routes 121 and 114 that takes me down through Rhode Island and Connecticut. This back road route puts me in a great position to either head south down into Connecticut, or I can go west and north across the state of Massachusetts. Now on this particular day, there wasn't a whole lot of traffic out, but still, there are a lot of things you need to keep an eye out for as you're rolling through the center of town. As I'm sitting at the light, I have two things that I need to take a look at. First, I've got a guy pulling up on the right, and then a car that wants to take a left turn out in front of me. Now, in Massachusetts, it is quite common for somebody waiting to take a left turn to just go out in front of oncoming traffic. So this is something that we motorcyclists need to be very cautious of and make sure that that person sees us and isn't going to proceed. So next up, as we're going through this intersection, there's a road that enters on the right. These people have a yield sign, but you can't be surprised because very often they'll try to cut out in front of you. Once you make it through those traps, well, then there are a bunch of cars parked over here on the right as well as across on the left. And of course, the ones on the right, well, they're kind of backing out blind, so you really have to watch for backup lights and cars moving out into the road. At this point, let's back up a little bit, because the cars on the right, possibly backing out in front of you, aren't the only things that you need to watch for. There's also a road that enters on your left, and yes, cars have a stop sign, but they're often in a hurry and will try to get out in front of oncoming traffic. We're almost through the center of town, but we still have more to watch out for. On the right, there's this parking lot and road. There's a church here, and very oftentimes they're having services or maybe a funeral, so you need to watch for people exiting this lot. So we're through the center of town, but we're not done. Up ahead, there's another road that enters on the left, and there's a gas station. You need to watch here for people pulling out of that gas station. Of course, there's nobody here today, but there very often is. So as I said, this was going to be a pretty boring video. We made it safely through this intersection with no drama, but that's really what we want. So let's take a look at another situation that happened a little later on this same day. In this next example, I'm rolling up about to make a left turn when I see this situation developing in front of me. I've got two vehicles that want to make a left-hand turn, when just after that is where I need to turn, but I've got three vehicles that I'm going to have to deal with. Fortunately, I'm looking far enough up the road that I see all of this happening, and I get on the brakes early. As I get near my turn, I then see another car that is approaching. So now I have to get back on the brakes and get ready to stop. Now, fortunately, this guy's nice. He stops and lets me go. I'm wondering if my yellow jacket had anything to do with it. So there you have it, more pretty boring stuff. Now, of course, I could have easily turned this into a more exciting adventure if I hadn't been paying attention, hadn't stopped early, or tried to race in front of that guy. Really, it's all about attitude. What's keeping me safe and what's going to keep most of you safe is not whether or not everybody else is paying attention, but it's if you're paying attention. All right, guys, continue to ride safe. Keep squeezing your lemon.